Hi, this is Steve Rybrook, product consultant with LedgeView Partners. We are a group of customer relationship management professionals who specialize in designing customized CRM solutions to improve business processes and maximize your company's growth potential. Today's discussion is geared toward those involved with the Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2013 upgrade, specifically focusing on managing the upgrade process. There are a few technical points discussed, but more in-depth technical items are covered in another video. Viewing this short video may be useful if you are in charge of the 2013 CRM upgrade or if you are on the 2013 CRM upgrade team. Now, let's get started. So, my name is Steve Rybrook. I am a product consultant, and I focus on the oil and gas product that LedgeView Partners develops and sells. So let's jump right into the agenda. I'll talk more about my role and how that affects this presentation today in just a second. So let's just flip over right to the agenda for today. So today, a brief introduction. We're going to talk about the upgrade process and how it is slightly different online versus on-premise. And again, the upgrade process I'm talking about today is jumping to CRM 2013. Then we're going to talk about this upgrade and the fact that, you know, I focused on this and we consider this whole upgrade thing more of a project rather than just a simple upgrade. We're going to spend some time talking about the application considerations. So this upgrade did some pretty cool things, so you should consider your CRM and everything that's in it and how you might want to modify that based on what you can now do with 2013. As I discussed earlier, we will touch on a few technical considerations because I believe if you're managing this project or you're involved with it, you should be aware of some of the technical things to consider. And again, there is another video talking specifically about those. And then I also want to talk about a diagnostic that we at LedgeView offer. It's a service we offer to kind of help you through this process or to get started with the process. And then we'll do just a quick wrap-up, quick summary of things. So that's today. Hopefully this video, I'm kind of guessing, we did this live down in Microsoft, at Microsoft in Chicago in October. And it took about 45 minutes. There was some more interaction there. So hopefully this is about 20, 25 minutes. We'll see how it goes. So from an introduction standpoint, again, my role is a product consultant, and really what that means is I'm heavily involved with a finished product that we created on top of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So I was actually probably more in your shoes, but just maybe a few months ago, meaning, okay, we found out about this 2013 upgrade. We support and we sell this finished product to dozens and dozens of customers, hundreds of users, and I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to handle this upgrade? Because I'm kind of in charge, so I have to do this upgrade and get all my users up to speed and get the software changed, you know, schedule the upgrade, all that kind of good stuff. So that's when I learned kind of piece by piece, you know, the fact that, you know, there are some steps involved. So when we got all done, I could kind of look back and kind of organize it and present it to you, saying, now if you're in these shoes, being asked to handle this CRM 2013 upgrade, what are some things you should consider? So I think I probably was more in your shoes than maybe some other folks who are involved in the upgrade. So hopefully that kind of sets the stage for my involvement in the upgrade we had to do to our CRM 2013 product that we sell. So let's jump right into the slides here, and then throughout the slides there's going to be a section where I'm going to take a break and actually demonstrate some of the things that we did with our energy or our oil and gas product that we offer. All right, so just briefly on talking about on-premise. So if you're watching this video after the end of October, you know that 2013 is now available for you on-premise customers. Probably the biggest difference between on-premise and online as far as this 2013 upgrade goes is you folks who are on-premise realize, you have control over, when to upgrade, what to upgrade. There are some technical considerations, some database table restructuring, some other things that you'll want to, get into the details on that. But the biggest point here is that you have control over if and when you want to upgrade. So you have a little bit more time to consider this. On the other hand, if we flip over to the online upgrade process, Microsoft started upgrading online customers on October 15th, and they're going to continue to do that through sometime in February. The date we've got is February 15th. It might actually go till the end of February. So you're going to get upgraded, no matter if you do something or not. I mean, Microsoft is going to change your CRM to go to 2013. So the good news is, between these dates, you do have some control over this date. So you should be seeing some notification right within CRM. So here's an example. If I logged into CRM, you might see something like this. A little line appears right on your right within CRM to say when you're going to get upgraded. If you click this Learn More, it'll take you to a screen. It'll show you your primary date, it'll show you your secondary date, and there's a button there where you can change the date, and it will show you a calendar of available dates between here and here on when you can change your upgrade. I will tell you already that when you do that, you're going to find out there are no Fridays or Saturdays available, because they're just not doing any upgrades on Friday night or Saturday night. They want to make sure that they're available, Microsoft is available, if there happens to be any problems. So that's why they're doing it during the week. And then the last point here is your upgrade is not guaranteed on that date. If there are problems or they just couldn't get to it or whatever, that's why it's going to default to your secondary date. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're planning this thing. All right. So now just talking about this whole thing as a project, and here's kind of some of my bullets. A lot of these are just basic project management bullets. But really what I want to point out is, I think we've all in the past have gotten upgrades to software, and you can kind of just coast through them, right? There's maybe a minor change, whether you pay attention to the upgrade or not, or use some of the features, not a big deal. In this particular upgrade, to go to CRM 2013, that is not the case. You need to be engaged. Someone in your organization needs to take ownership of this project. If you don't know who's in charge, please get together with your team and make sure someone is in charge of this upgrade, because there are definitely some project management things you should be doing when you're going through this whole project, as far as communicating with your users, planning this thing, figuring out what changes you want to make. I mean, it's a project. It's not an enormous project, but it's just something you need to be engaged with. So again, some other project management things. Consider time, cost, benefit, risk. Why do I actually call them out here? Because of what I mentioned earlier about there is a end date to this thing. It's not like, okay, I'm busy now, I'm just going to worry about this, in 4 months. Your CRM is going to get upgraded. So you've got, the kind of the calendar to consider and your availability for time. And so you can kind of look at what changes do I want to make, what don't I want to make, and just while you're doing that, consider, how much time we have, how much cost it's going to be, the benefit versus the risk of either doing or not doing something. Okay, I guess we talked about determining the timing, and that's just scheduling your upgrade. And then another thing we're suggesting, because this is a fairly significant upgrade, we strongly suggest that you create some type of test environment, and that could be something as simple as just getting a 30-day trial of CRM. If you do that now, that's actually going to come across as a 2013 upgrade. So then your technical team can export your solution, import it into this 2013 version, and just see what it looks like, and then make your changes, test some things, make sure you're good to go, before your upgrade takes place. Another thing to consider here is if you have any third-party tools, any third-party software that's embedded in your CRM, We use things like Click Dimensions, PSA, a few other ones. Anything that's right inside of CRM, those software companies are also in the same position you are. They've got to upgrade to 2013. So you're probably going to want to have discussions with them to find out what their upgrade path is to make sure you upgrade after they upgrade. And then obviously you're going to want to do a little testing with that. And then finally, once you've kind of made your plan, obviously get your users on board, right? Let them know what the plan is, what the dates things are going to happen are. Probably offer some training. What we did with our oil and gas product is, again, we have hundreds and hundreds of users scattered throughout the country. We just offered 1-hour webinars. I think we offered 3 of them throughout the course of this upgrade time frame. So we give people the option to sign up for pretty much whenever they want, do a 1-hour training, and we think 1 hour is plenty. There's some navigation changes that they're going to want to get accustomed to and get trained on, and depending on what other changes you make, they're going to want to get up to speed with that. All right, moving on. More about the project itself. With this upgrade, there's a lot more options for you to consider when it comes to mobile. So I'm not going to get into all the issues with mobile, but just knowing that there are more options with mobile, again, you have to consider the time you have. You may not have enough time to, get everything up and running with mobile the way you'd like. So the point here is, don't lose sight of mobile. It can be a very valuable and productive thing for your company, but even if you don't have time for it, at least take a little bit of time to consider what your mobile strategy is and just tie that right with your company's overall mobile strategy. Be aware of licensing changes. So there are lots of options. You'll probably want to talk to your Microsoft partner, your salesperson, your account rep, whoever your connection is, just to talk about, what are all the licensing options that I have, because there are different options with 2013. There's a new feature with 2013 called this process automation. So what you can do is you can figure out how some of your internal processes work and actually create a process flow within CRM to make it much easier for your users. Now that might be more than you can bite off before your system gets upgraded, but you should at least consider business processes, how you want to implement them, when you want to implement them, decide if you're going to do it now or later. We actually decided on 2 business processes. We automated our lead process, so when you take a lead and you qualify it and you go all the way through opportunity and close that out, do quotes and then finally win or lose that opportunity. So the lead process, and then also for existing customers, you just start out by creating an opportunity. So there's also a business process just for opportunities. So if you don't start with a lead, you just jump right into an opportunity. There's a process for that, and I'll show you that. So I kind of touched on this already. Evaluate this as a multi-phase approach. Just look at everything, and then just decide what your phases are. What do you want to do short term? What do you want to do long term? And then again, partnering with a vendor can kind of help you. We here at LedgeView offer this diagnostic statement of work. If you sign off on that, we will help you with this process. We will diagnose your CRM, let you know, what might break, what things you might want to consider, and I think I get into that a little bit more detail later. All right. So now from an application standpoint, what did we consider on our end? Well, because of some of the things that we learned along the way, I've kind of got these in an order, but I'm kind of going to bounce around. So one of the things that you'll find out with 2013 is all the navigation on the left is gone. It's all moved up to the top. So you have all this real estate, and your forms can now be 3 columns wide. So what did that tell me? What am I going to want to do because of that? Well, that led me back to this first bullet. We had a look at our whole CRM solution, and we just started out with a list of all of our entities. So that was a really good approach for us. We started with that, and then we could say, okay, now that we have a list of all of our entities, which ones do we use a lot, which ones do we use maybe a little, and which ones don't we use at all? And from there, we could just make a plan, and we could say, which of these entities do we want to, bother even redesigning? Because those that are never used or are only used a little bit, maybe it's no big deal. But some of those forms that are used quite a bit, why not take advantage of the 3 columns and maybe make it less scrolling for your users, again, a little bit better experience for your users. You'll also find out that you can actually pull out some of those really critical fields and have them display on the kind of the top of the form, so I'll show you that. You also have some control of the sequence of the related records and even the things as you're navigating, the order of things, so you can decide, again, if this part of our CRM is used a lot, maybe I want to control this. So I'll go through some of that when I actually pull up our application. So a lot of it started with the entities. If I'm not doing much with quotes, no big deal. If I'm doing a lot with the account screen, maybe I want to spend a little bit of time analyzing what I can do with accounts. Definitely the user interface is different. That's a big reason for the training. We touched on that. We talked about the sequence. Oh, and there's also a whole new feature called Quick Create Forms. So you might have a few entities where, your users end up creating a lot of these records. So an example might be leads. So with this Quick Create form, you can hit a button and it will jump to you like this little bitty form, and you fill in the basics, hit the save button, and when you're done, you're right back to where you were. So it saves you a lot of time. I would say we probably got a little bit carried away with Quick Create forms. You probably only need a couple. I think we ended up making about a dozen because they're fairly easy to make, and we just thought, well, this will be nice. If I hit that Quick Create button and I want to quick create, whatever, again, we probably got a little bit carried away with that. So a couple other things to consider. All right, so moving on. You can have images on accounts and contacts. So by an image, I just mean a little spot for a picture. We decided not to incorporate that yet, but it is on our roadmap down the road. We'll probably figure out, when and where we want to do that. We just felt for the time we had, we weren't going to do it. Maps is another function that you can have. So if you have, like on the contact screen, you have an address, you can have a little map show up just below, or just below that address on your form. And we did do that for accounts and contacts. We thought that was kind of a nice feature. Somebody's looking at that form, they can right away get a visual of where that a customer or contact is located. We also did, like I said, we automated our sales process, so that's something for you to consider. Here's another big bullet for you to consider, autosave. So that's new to 2013, and by default, that is turned on. So very similar to a lot of other Microsoft products. You're cruising along. Now this doesn't affect new records. So when you're creating a new record, right, you're just sitting on the screen. When you get all done, you save it. Then it's saved. But if you pull up a record and you're making changes to it every so many seconds, it's just going to save that record. So why is that something you should consider? Well, what if you have workflows or anything else that might be automated based on when a record gets saved? Well, now if it's getting saved every 30 seconds, whenever there's changes, automatically, you might just have to consider how that's going to affect that. So that's probably one of the biggest items for you to just kind of make sure you think through. Duplicate detection rules. Originally, we heard that they were going away, but they're really not going away. The way I understand duplicate detection rules, they're really used 3 ways if you run a duplicate detection job, and that will still work. If you're doing an import, that will still work. It's just on the fly. So if somebody is making changes or adding a record or whatever, just using basic CRM stuff, that's where the rules don't kick in. And I'm guessing that has something to do with this whole autosave thing. So with that in mind, you've been looking at the screen long enough to see that Jason, one of our developers, has something out on CodePlex that will address that for you, that third piece, the piece that's missing. So if you want to continue to do duplicate detection, check out this. And by the way, there's a typo here. I guess this should be CRM 2013. So if you check this out on CodePlex, and again, if you're the project manager, maybe you're not into all this, but your techie team probably knows how to do this, or your Microsoft partner. All right. So just to give you a quick visual before I jump into the application, this is what one of our forms looked like in our oil and gas solution. So this happened to be the quote screen, which I thought this quote screen looked great. You know, we did a lot of time designing it, seemed very user-friendly. You know, everybody's comfortable with the ribbon on top and this stuff on the left, and you know, we had things lined up pretty good. You know, we felt pretty good about this. You know, we were proud to, you know, present this to our customers. So now I'm going to click and show you what it looked like after Microsoft upgraded our solution to CRM 2013. So I'll go back one. So there's before, there's after. And, you know, I don't think it necessarily looks bad, but it just didn't look great. You know, I just thought, man, look at all this white space up here, and, you know, do you really need this much width for a date? You know, so our quotes, for our customers use quotes a lot, our users, if you will, and so we thought quotes is definitely a form that we're going to want to redesign. So when we got done redesigning it, it ended up looking like this. So, you know, it's not a lot of work to redesign stuff, but you'll notice right away that we've got 3 columns. You know, we had all this real estate, so why not take take advantage of all 3 columns? We pulled out 4 fields to throw kind of up on top of the screen, so department, the quote ID, the revision, and the owner. We've got every single thing on our quote that our customers use on the main form, the main screen here, except for the products. That's the only reason you have to scroll down, so you can get your quote all set up, scroll down. You know, actually you don't even have to, because if you're just going to add some, you can just hit the plus here, and now, you know, I'll be adding products to my quote. So this is kind of an idea, so I'll just jump back for a little bit again and just kind of show you. So here's before, here's after the upgrade, you know, a lot of white space, and then here's when we got all done. And obviously with anything, with CRM, you know, there's constant suggestions and improvements, right? We could redesign this at any time, but here's how it turned out after Microsoft upgraded it, and then we applied our changes that we wanted, you know, in CRM. All right. So let's jump right into the application, and I'm going to do 3 things. I'm going to try to do them quick, because I know I'm kind of getting on time here. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about accounts. I'll show you one quick create. We'll quick create a lead, and then I'll take that lead and I'll jump that into a sales process. And again, we did only 2 sales processes, but I should say process, because we're probably going to do a lot more of that down the road, you know, as we hear back from all of our users what they'd like us to automate. So with that, I will escape out of this for a second and jump right into CRM. So I'm in 2013 CRM. I think the first thing I was going to show you was accounts, so a little bit of navigation. Again, there's nothing to the left. Everything is kind of up here. So if I hover over Microsoft Dynamics CRM, the first thing I get is a list of my main modules. We decided to keep Workplace. That's going away in 2013, but we kept that because our users are used to that. We also have some of our own modules here, equipment tracking, station management. That's just part of our oil and gas solution. But I'm just going to jump into sales. And then what you'll see is kind of like, I guess I'll call it a cookie trail. So I'm in CRM, right? I'm in sales. If I hover over sales, it shows me everything I can do within sales. And this is another one of them things that you have control over the sequence of these. So this is up to you. You know, we analyzed our system and our entities, and we said, look, when our customers go into, when our users go into sales, you know, they really focus on opportunities, accounts, contact leads, quotes, and order history. And then, you know, we didn't quite matter. So we put them right here rather than having them having to hit this arrow, you know, to get more entities. So you have control over that. So then once you click one, you know, kind of see my cookie trail, right? I'm in CRM, I'm in sales, I'm in accounts, and then here's just, you know, now we're in basic stuff, right? I'm in a view of my active accounts. The last thing on this cookie trail, by the way, after at this level, this would show me any recently viewed records. But once I open up a record, which I'm just going to quick search for one. Once I open up a record, you're going to see my cookie trail up on top now. So I'm in CRM, I'm in sales, I'm in accounts, and it's going to show me right up here on this line that I'm in Fairview Manufacturing. I'm on that account record. And then the last piece, which you can probably guess here, if I click on this last arrow, these are all the entities that are related to this account record. So if I just hover over this, and again, you have control over this sequence, so our users care about opportunities, contacts, activities, closed activities, and order history, probably in that order, when you're pulling up an account and want to see what's related to that. So here's our account form. You can see that we definitely took advantage of the 3 columns here. We redesigned it quite a bit. We called out some fields up on top. We brought in that map. That's just a map of this address. Actually, I think we even added a few grids because again we had so much real estate. Why not just show them the contacts, any open activities, open opportunities tied to this account. We have this concept of share of wallet in our system. Anyway, and then there's notes. So another thing that we had with our system, oh, by the way, right up here on top, it shows you 5 different things that you could do to this record. In this case, save it. I could create a new one. I could deactivate this record. These are very common things. You only get 5, and everything else shows up under this little button here. You have control over this sequence, so you're going to probably want to call out the 5 things that your users do the most of. So one of the things I wanted to show you is a little dashboard that we had put together, and it's really just a form related to this account. And we were really proud of this. I'm not going to show you the old way, but what it amounted to is it was about, I think it was 16 charts, which if you think about it, that's a little bit overwhelming. But man, we thought that was so cool. You click on that button, you get 16 charts, and you just scroll down, and you can look at what you want. Well, with 2013, it was a lot less effort to use this tab feature. So now, one of the things that our solution does is it analyzes this customer's invoice data. We call it order history. And it just kind of shows graphically how this particular customer is doing year-to-date versus last year-to-date, and then the most recent 12 months versus the prior 12 months. And then we also break that down by a concept we have called product segment. So a quick, easy way to analyze the customer by gross profit. And again, in our old version, you just keep scrolling down and get more and more charts. Well, now with 2013, it was very easy just to add these tabs. So now instead of having to scroll down, if I don't want to analyze gross profit, I want to analyze revenue, I can just click here on revenue, and I can look at that. I can click on units, and I can analyze the customer's units, and on and on and on. So a very cool feature. All right. So the other thing I wanted to point out was that quick create. So with that quick create, that button is right up here in this ribbon. So no matter where I'm at in CRM, if I hit this little plus with a circle around it, it will give me all the entities that are in the system with a quick create option. And like I said, I think we got carried away. We have a lot of them. And the system, by the way, will have quick create on some activities. But we added quick create. Probably our most popular one is quick create for a lead. So I can go in and quick create a lead, and it just pulls up this little form that I created. But you can see it really isn't a new window. It's just kind of on top of this. So I'm just going to quick make a lead. So I'm just going to say Bob Jones. I'll just, as fast as I can type here to get one in here. Oops. Sorry, maybe too fast. Bob Jones is with, Jones and Company. I'm going to skip anything that's not required here. We have a concept in our system called departments, so I'm just going to tie this to a department. I have to tie it to an industry. I'm just making these up. Tie it to a lead source, rating, phone number. I'll give it a phone number. Okay, it looks like I have to. We require a city and a state. All right. So enough on that. So I just created a lead, and I'm about to hit the save button. But before I do that, I want to just make sure you guys are looking up on the top of the screen, because I only get about 5 seconds. It gives me a little option here. After I hit save, I can hit a button that's going to appear here to automatically open that record or to create another record. And if I wait more than 5 seconds, this window is just going to go away, and I'm going to be right back where I was. Well, I'm going to hit the button to open the record so you can see how it opens up the lead record right in my sales process. So I'm going to hit save. So now it's going to verify everything, and it's saving this record. And now here we go. I can view the record, or I can create another. So I'm going to quick hit view record before that screen goes away. And that just told it, look, get done with what I'm doing, jump to the lead record and open it up for the user. So obviously we redesigned the lead screen because it used to only be 2 wide. So this is that lead record I just entered. And here's that sales process I talked about. So I'm on a lead record right now, and I could disqualify that lead. Or the way we've got it designed, I could just say, yep, qualify it, hit save. And now what's going to happen, I just click save. What just happened is it qualified that lead. It created an opportunity. It's creating an opportunity, a contact, and an account for, what was it, Jones & Company? And then it's going to open up the opportunity. But behind the scenes is a prospect account called Jones & Company. And attached to that account is a contact called, I think it was like Bob Jones or something. So now I am in the sales process for this opportunity, and I'm in, our sales process has qualify stage, needs and solutions, presentation, and finally close. And again, there's lots of things I can do working this opportunity. I'm not going to get into that, but really to kind of move things along, one of the things that we like to do is make sure that we've had that first appointment with the customer. So I just say, yes, I did, and I go over here and I hit next stage. And I'm pretty much just advancing the sales stage. So now I'm in sales stage 2, and graphically we're presenting that already. And now what is our user base, our sales team supposed to do when they're in needs and solutions? Well, obviously they're going to be meeting with the customer, finding out what their needs are. And then the solution in our system is to present a quote. So the next thing I need to do then is create a quote. And I could do that within CRM, I could do that external to CRM, what have you. I simply just have to answer this question, what I did. So I'll just say, yep, I made a CRM quote, and now I'm moving to the next stage. I'm in the presentation stage, so I'm moving this opportunity along the sales process. So obviously this is going to show up on my pipeline reporting, everything else. Anytime along the way, I could have closed this opportunity as a loss. Or hopefully when I get to the end here, my last step, after I present this, I'm working with the customer, did I lose it or did I win it? And by clicking to make that a yes, I can close this thing as a win. If I would have been updating this, opportunity, it would have had some of these values filled in. So I could have just been retaining some business. I could have won the business. I could update some numbers here. I hit OK. And now this opportunity and any associated quotes will have been marked completed as wins. And this opportunity now is closed. We call it sales stage 4, which is just the last stage. It's closed. So this is not an open opportunity anymore. So obviously your sales team still has all of their work to do, but hopefully to actually represent their work in CRM is much easier. We find our customers seem very excited. Our users are very excited about seeing this flow and just making it much easier to follow the process. So that is our sales process. One note I will make, you'll notice I'm not opening up a lot of windows. So as an example, if I click right here to jump to the potential customer here, to Jones Construction, I didn't open another window. So what you'll find is you're not doing something and then like going back. You're just like, what do I want to do next? What do I want to do next? Probably the biggest problem I had is because there's so few windows that open up, I was so used to that, I'd have a tendency of going up here and kind of closing out, thinking I've got to close out this one to get back, and I would close out a CRM completely, which is like, oh, darn it. And then after a while, you just get used to it. It's like, hey, just what do I want to do? What do I don't want to look at this account anymore. I want to go look at my opportunities. So I just hover up here, go to opportunities. I get my list of opportunities. Maybe I want to go into a whole different module. So, oh, yep, I want to go into our equipment tracking. So you just go up there and, what do I want to do? It's not like I have to back out of anything. What do I want to do next? What do I want to do next? Okay, so that's a little walkthrough. What else? I'm going to jump back to my PowerPoint. I think I had a few technical issues, and then we just want to wrap up. So let me just pull this thing up again. So these are just things, I'm not technical, so I'm not going to get into details. There are other technical videos, but just things you as project managers might want to consider is, you should be getting emails from Microsoft, so those should be coming to your administrator, letting you know how close you are to your upgrade. There is a validation tool you can run against your CRM to see if any plugins or any code you have might not work. it'll let you know what's what's going to break. There's also a list. It's a short list of things that are no longer supported. So that's from like in your environment. So things like Office 2003 and Windows XP. So there's a few things that are no longer supported. There is a new Outlook client. So for those of you using Outlook, my demonstration was just via the web client. I was in Internet Explorer, but so if you're using Outlook, there's a 2013 Outlook client you'll want to install after your upgrade. There's a new feature called Exchange Sync. I don't know all the details on that, but that is a tool that if you're using an email router or you're counting on Outlook to kind of pump your emails, this Exchange Sync eliminates that and also syncs your contacts and activities differently. Let me just say that. So I don't have all the details on that. So that's something, again, if you're kind of managing CRM, you might have to have that on your radar for, sometime after the upgrade. I think that's available for on-premise, but online it's going to be a little bit later. And then obviously once your upgrade date comes along, you'll have your technical team involved, but some evening Microsoft is going to flip the switch on your CRM. You're going to be 2013. As soon as you get an email from them saying they're done, then you're going to want to obviously then apply your changes to the system, and then all the work you've been doing up to this point will now be in your CRM, and then just let your users know you're good to go, and away you go. So, this is that diagnostic slide I promised we'd touch on a little bit. So one of the things that we offer, you could talk to, if you work with us here at LedgeView, work with your account rep, and they'll kind of walk you through what we'll do for a diagnostic statement of work. So for a very small fee, I think it's $500, we will kind of walk you through what I did today generically, but we'll talk to you about, your specific issues, and we'll go through, all of this stuff. And then here's what we'll do from an environment perspective. We'll run that diagnostic tool. We'll analyze, your user interface. We'll talk about what you might want to do there. We'll let you know of any JavaScript that won't work. We'll analyze your plugins and any of your custom workflows. We'll talk about that email router, what you may want to do with that. Again, the Outlook client, any integration or third-party tools that you're using that need to be considered. So we'll just kind of help you. So that's just an option we throw out there, take advantage. As of when we did this original presentation on October 24th, we had done 25 of these already, actually over 25. So I know our technical team has been very busy doing these for a lot of our clients. So I think it's been very, very popular. So anything, if you need some help, we're here. So that is pretty much it. Probably my biggest summary, which you've kind of gotten a sense by now, is you need to treat this upgrade as a project. It's really cool, 2013. I'm really loving it. Our customers are loving it. This project was so worth it. Just go through the process. Make sure you have things handled. Make a plan. Keep everybody updated. And I'm sure you'll be in great shape. So thanks so much for your time. I hope this was valuable, and have yourself a great day.